Well, it is a pleasure to be here with you today, gathered around the digital hearth of iron wisdom. We are here to discuss a subject that has occupied the minds of the ambitious and the seekers of truth for generations: how to succeed in life. Now, success is not a mystery. It is not something that drops from the sky like a summer rain. It is a predictable result of a certain set of disciplines practiced every single day. If you want to change your circumstances, you must first change yourself. That is the fundamental premise of everything we will discuss over the next half hour. I used to say, I sure hope things will change. Then I found out that the only way they were going to change for me was if I changed. My mentor, Mr. Schoaf, told me, Jim, you don't have to work on the economy. You don't have to work on the company. You don't even have to work on your boss. You have to work on yourself. That was a turning point for me. And I want it to be a turning point for you today as we look at the modern pursuit of financial independence and productivity through the lens of timeless philosophy. Let's start with the concept of financial independence, retire early, what the young people today call FIRE. It's a fascinating term, isn't it? But to the sophisticated mind, FIRE is not about escaping work. It is about the freedom to choose the work that fulfills the soul. It is about the transition from working for a living to working for a fortune. Mr. Schoaf asked me once, Jim, how much money have you saved and invested in the last 6 years? I said, none. He said, who sold you on that plan? You see, we all have a plan. Some have a plan to be wealthy and some have a plan to be poor. If you don't have a plan for your money, I promise you, someone else has a plan for you. And it isn't a plan for your prosperity. To succeed in this modern era, you must become a student of your own life. You must become a student of the seasons. Just as the earth has its spring, summer, autumn, and winter, so does your financial journey. You cannot reap in the autumn if you did not plant in the spring. Many people want the harvest of financial freedom, but they refuse to endure the labor of the planting season. They want the retire early part without the financial independence part. But you cannot bypass the fundamentals. Success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines, practiced every day, while failure is simply a few errors in judgment, repeated every day. It is the cumulative weight of these disciplines or these errors that determines where you will be in 5, 10, or 20 years. Let's talk about value. This is the great secret of the marketplace. You don't get paid for your time. If you got paid for your time, you could just sit at home and watch the clock and wait for the check. No, you get paid for the value you bring to the marketplace. Now, it takes time to bring value, but you aren't paid for the time. You are paid for the value. Since it is difficult to get more time, we all have the same 24 hours. The only way to increase your income is to increase your value. If you want to be worth twice as much, you must become twice as valuable. This is the heart of productivity. Productivity isn't about doing more things. It's about being more of a person. You must ask yourself every morning, what can I do today to make myself more valuable to the world? If you improve your skills, if you refine your philosophy, if you develop a sophisticated understanding of how the world works, the money will find you. It's like a magnet. Wealth is attracted by the person you become. Most people work hard on their jobs, but they don't work hard on themselves. I've always said, if you work hard on your job, you can make a living. If you work hard on yourself, you can make a fortune, and a fortune is much better than a living. Now let's look at the philosophy of the ant. I think everyone should study ants. They have a 4-part philosophy that is essential for anyone seeking financial independence. First, ants never quit. If they're headed somewhere and you try to stop them, they'll look for another way. They'll go up, they'll go down, they'll go around. They keep looking for a way. What a great philosophy, to never quit looking for a way to get where you're supposed to go. Second, ants think winter all summer. You can't be so naive as to think summer will last forever. So ants are gathering their winter food in the middle of summer. You must think about the lean years while you are in the fat years. You must think about retirement while you are still young and strong. You must build your reservoir while the rain is falling. Third, ants think summer all winter. That is so important. During the winter, ants remind themselves, this won't last long. We'll soon be out of here. And the first warm day, the ants are out. If it turns cold again, they'll go back down, but then the first warm day, they're out. They can't wait to get out. They have a positive outlook, even in the darkest of seasons. And finally, how much will an ant gather during the summer to prepare for the winter? All he possibly can. What a great philosophy. The all-you-can philosophy. Not just enough to get by, not just enough to pay the bills, but all you possibly can. That is the spirit of a true high achiever. If you apply the ant philosophy to your savings, your investments, and your work ethic, you will find that the road to fire is much shorter than you thought. But to walk that road, you need a map. You need a refined philosophy. Philosophy is the set of the sail. In life, the wind blows on us all. The wind of disaster, the wind of opportunity, the wind of change. We cannot change the wind, but we can change the set of the sail. Two people are in the same company. One makes $50,000 a year, the other makes $500,000. The wind is the same. The difference is the set of the sail. Your philosophy, your way of thinking, is what determines your destination. If you think that the government should take care of you or that your boss is responsible for your raises, your sail is set for the rocks. But if you realize that you are the captain of your own ship, that your destiny is in your own hands, then you can steer toward the harbor of wealth and peace. Let's talk about the 70-30 rule. This is a simple, sophisticated way to manage your resources. After you pay your taxes, and we must all pay our taxes, for that is how we contribute to the infrastructure of the society that allows us to thrive, you are left with your net income. Now, most people spend 100% of their net income. Some people spend 110%. That is a recipe for disaster. The sophisticated person learns to live on 70%. What do you do with the other 30%? You divide it into 3 equal parts. 10% for charity, to give back to the community, because you cannot be truly wealthy if you have a stingy soul. 10% for capital, to start an enterprise, to invest, to create wealth. And 10% for savings, for the winter of life. If you start this when you have very little, it is easy. If you wait until you have a lot, it is much harder. It's not the amount that counts, it's the plan. It's the discipline. I've had people tell me, "Oh, Mr. Rohn, if I had more money, I'd have a better plan." I tell them, no, if you had a better plan, you'd have more money. It starts with the plan. It starts with the discipline of the small things. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. Without discipline, your goals are just dreams, and dreams without discipline lead to delusions. Many people in the productivity movement today are looking for hacks. They want a shortcut. They want a secret app or a magic technique. But let me tell you, there are no shortcuts to excellence. There are no hacks for character. You must do the work. You must read the books. You must attend the seminars. You must spend the time in reflection. I recommend that you keep a journal. A journal is one of the 3 treasures to leave behind for the next generation. Your pictures, your library, and your journals. Your journal is where you capture your thoughts, your ideas, your observations. It is the textbook of your own life. If you are serious about success, you must be a serious student of your own experiences. Don't just live through the day, learn from the day. At the end of every day, spend a few minutes reviewing what went well, what went wrong, what did I hear, what did I feel. This is how you develop wisdom, and wisdom is the most valuable commodity in the world. As the old book says, wisdom is the principal thing, therefore get wisdom. With wisdom comes the ability to discern opportunity from distraction. In this modern world, we are drowning in distractions. We have 1,000 voices competing for our attention every hour. If you don't have a strong philosophy, you will be blown away by every wind of trend and fashion. You must learn to say no. Discipline yourself to say no to the trivial so that you can say yes to the vital. This is the essence of time management. Time management is actually a bit of a misnomer. You can't manage time. Time just goes. You can only manage yourself. You must manage your energy, your focus, and your priorities. Don't spend major time on minor things. Most people are spending major time on minor things, scrolling through their phones, worrying about the opinions of people they don't even like, chasing short-term pleasures. If you want to achieve financial independence, you must spend major time on major things. You must spend time building your skills. You must spend time analyzing your investments. You must spend time cultivating your relationships, for your relationships are the true wealth of life. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If you hang around with people who have no ambition, who complain about the world, who have no plan for their future, guess what? You will become just like them. But if you associate with the ambitious, the wise, the disciplined, and the generous, their habits will rub off on you. Choose your circle carefully. It is better to be alone than to be in the wrong company. It is better to walk alone toward the light than to walk with a crowd into the darkness. Now let's touch upon the subject of enlightened self-interest. This is a concept that many people misunderstand. They think that being self-interested means being selfish, but that's not true. Enlightened self-interest means that you realize that the best way to help yourself is to help others. If you want to be successful, find a way to help other people be successful. If you want to be wealthy, find a way to create value for others. As Zig Ziglar used to say, you can have everything in life you want if you will just help enough other people get what they want. This is the iron law of the universe. It is the law of sowing and reaping. You cannot reap a harvest if you have not sown the seeds, and the seeds are the service you provide to the world. In the FIRE community, we often talk about the number, the amount of money you need to never have to work again. But I want you to think about another number, the number of lives you have touched, the number of problems you have solved, the number of people you have inspired. Because when you reach your financial goal, if you haven't touched lives, you will find that the money is very cold. True success is the satisfaction of knowing that you have lived your life with purpose, that you have used your talents to the fullest, and that you have left the world a little bit better than you found it. That is the iron wisdom. That is the path to a life well lived. Let's talk about the word sophistication. People often think sophistication means being fancy or expensive, but true sophistication is the ability to appreciate the nuances of life. It's the ability to enjoy a simple meal as much as a banquet. It's the ability to find joy in a sunset, in a good book, or in a deep conversation. Sophistication is also about understanding the power of language. The words you use to describe your world will eventually become the world you live in. If you use words of lack, words of fear, words of resentment, you will build a prison for yourself. But if you use words of abundance, words of courage, and words of gratitude, you will build a palace. Be careful with your self-talk. Don't say, I can't afford it. Ask, how can I afford it? Don't say, it's too hard. Say, it's a challenge that will make me stronger. The quality of your life is determined by the quality of your communication, both with yourself and with others. As we move toward the conclusion of our time today, I want to leave you with a few challenges. First, I challenge you to be a student, not a follower. Don't just do what I say or what anyone else says. Take the information, run it through your own mental laboratory, and see what works for you. Be a student of the word, but be a practitioner of the deed. Second, I challenge you to set goals that are big enough to inspire you. Don't set a goal just to pay your bills. That's not a goal. That's a necessity. Set a goal to become a millionaire, not for the $1 million, but for what it will make of you to achieve it. The greatest value of reaching a big goal is not the prize at the end. It's the person you become in the process. You will have to develop discipline, courage, persistence, and wisdom. Those are the things you get to keep. The money can be taken away, the house can be lost, but the character you have built stays with you forever. Third, I challenge you to take immediate action. Knowledge without action is the beginning of frustration. If you have heard something today that resonates with you, don't wait until tomorrow to start. Start today. Buy that book, start that journal, make that investment, open that savings account. The smallest act of discipline is more powerful than the greatest intention. And finally, I challenge you to have a sense of urgency. Time is our most precious resource, and it is the only one that is non-renewable. We think we have forever, but we don't. The seasons change quickly. The spring of youth turns into the summer of maturity, and before you know it, the autumn of reflection is upon you. Don't waste your time. Don't spend your days in the shadows of one day or someday. Make today the day you decide to take control of your destiny. Make today the day you commit to the journey of financial independence and personal excellence. It won't be easy. There will be storms. There will be winters. There will be times when you feel like giving up. But let me tell you, the view from the top is worth the climb. The feeling of freedom, the peace of mind, the joy of knowing that you have mastered yourself, those are the true rewards of success. I want to thank you for spending this time with me. I hope these words have sparked something within you. I hope you take these principles and apply them to your life with the strength of iron and the clarity of wisdom. Remember, you are the architect of your life. You are the captain of your soul. Go out there and build something magnificent. I'll see you at the top. This concludes our reflection for today. May your journey be filled with growth, your heart with courage, and your life with the abundance you deserve. God bless you, and goodbye for now.